Okay, so I'm in a few seconds early. Look, me without glasses. You rarely see this, huh? You rarely see what goes on behind the glasses. Ooh. Welcome. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Friday of a week that doesn't even feel like it should be Friday yet because we had that holiday. Am I right, people? Maybe I was just blessed. I don't know. Next thing you know, it's Friday again. Oh, gosh. You know what? Here's the thing. Hey, Melissa, that's fine. Nice to see you. Hey, Babu? Babu? When you get ready, can you bring me some water when you get a chance?
Drink water, you got it.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, everybody. It's so funny how I realize that I have my own little routines and stuff like that there. This, that, and the other thing, as my dad would say, as my husband says my dad used to say. And I realize that sometimes I immediately kind of go over here going like, where's my whoopee? Where's my bottle? Right? Because I want to hydrate because I'm going to be here for the next hour. I am here for the next hour for you. Boop. You. If you are a person who is struggling with clutter and stuff, if your home doesn't look like you want it to because of the too much stuff in it, that's what I'm here for. This is what I'm good at. And strangely, to some people, this is what I enjoy. I enjoy helping people with their clutter and stuff. And I do it by doing these TikTok lives. I've got an email list you can get on. Jen Bull, that's you. All right. Well, maybe, as the dubious Mr. Cosby would say, you may learn something before we're done here. So I show up and I do these TikTok lives. I have a Destination Decluttered. I'm sorry. You know what? I just jumped in right here and I didn't even introduce myself. Pretty easy. My name is Beth. And I am a decluttering life coach. And Destination Decluttered is me and what I do. I work one-on-one with private clients over Zoom, so I can and do coach people from all over the country. Because wherever you live, I bet you're jammed up. Thank you, Babu. With clutter and stuff. Stuff that you thought was going to work out in your life and it just doesn't, and you just have yet to get rid of it. All right, or not even get rid of it. That has to me a little bit of a negative connotation. So I like to say, pass it along. I love the fact that when I show up on these TikTok lives, people seem to enjoy what I'm doing. I don't know. Hopefully you will. But I'm here so you can ask questions in the comments. This is interactive. This is really not about me at all. If it was about me, I would be laying on the couch reading a book, right? But I am here for you for the next hour to help you. So what are you stuck with? Are you overwhelmed? Do you not know where to start? That is usually what I hear most often. Are you struggling with stuff that you have in your life that maybe was once owned by somebody else and you got it, somehow it ended up in your life, right? There we go. German Made 95, nice to see you. Gilbert Baker Film Fest. Hey, I get a Film Fest share in my life. Thank you very much, Gilbert Baker and your Film Fest. That's awesome. Yeah, but there's you're not alone. I just want to offer this. Everybody, we're all in this together. Many of us are living at a certain age, a certain time in our lives, a certain time in the history of our world where there is more than ever an easy way to get way too much stuff that's way too cute and you think it's going to make you feel great and it doesn't. So, Edie's World 21, love the cubes behind you with the luggage. I love your travels. So I'm glad you mentioned that. I love to travel too. So many of the things that I have collected over the years and still kind of collect occasionally has to do with travel. This bookcase is just something from IKEA that I bought a number of years ago. But let me share this with you. Oh, I meant to, you know what? I will do this on a future TikTok. I was inspired by a picture I saw years ago in a magazine to do a similar thing where it was like a big square shelving thing with one thing in each. And it gave me that idea and I made it happen. Okay. What else? Good morning from Philadelphia, Wonder Lady. I am just on the other side of Valley Forge and King of Prussia. So we are neighbors. Nice to see you. Lori is saying, I just moved from a 6-bedroom to a 1-bedroom. I am overwhelmed. Nowhere to put anything. Okay. Lori, think of this like a math problem. Okay. All the stuff that fit in your wicked big 6-bedroom house cannot fit in your small one. So this gives you the opportunity to say, as the Clash would say, I am Gen X. I tend to talk a lot in pop culture references. This is my love language, one of my many love languages. This gives you an opportunity to say, what is really important to me? And really, the neat thing is that decluttering allows us all that opportunity to say, here I am today. Today is what? Friday, July 7th. It's 9:05 a.m. in the morning on the East Coast where I am. And what is really important to me today? And what is going to make my life delightful and easy and functioning well and looking good and making me feel good today and in the future? Set your future self up for success. Okay? And the stuff that fit in your 6-bedroom house probably did it there, but it's not going to do it now. So give yourself the opportunity to pare things down to the bare essentials. I had a call with a client the other day, and she realized, because something happened in her life, she's like, none of this stuff matters. None of this stuff. She had this epiphany, which is so great, and it makes my coaching so much easier. But she said, what matters to me is my family and my friends and love, and all this stuff doesn't even matter anymore. So just think about what matters to you and what makes you. This is what I like to say. This is how I do this, is destination decluttered. Travel motifs all over the place. Road tripping, driving motifs, that is my other language of love. Whoa, I just hit something. Sorry, I hit it with my knee. What do you want your home to look like? What do you want yourself to feel like when you're in your home? When you walk into your home, how do you want to feel? And also the last one, to just kind of plant some seeds and give you some tips, here, I'm giving you stuff for free. How do you want your home to function? I love it that the way I've done stuff, and it hasn't always been this way, people. Let me just tell you, it's only been literally in the last 7 to 10 years of my life. But oh my gosh, the last 7 to 10 years of my life have been so much better than many decades beforehand. Because now my home functions well. I can find things easily. I can grab them. I can use them. They work because I don't have a bunch of things that kind of half work. And when I'm done with it, I have an easy place to put it back. So think about that. How it looks, how it feels, and also how it functions. I don't know, functions. Okay, there we go. Stuck knowing where to start, going through my late grandmother's things. There's so much stuff. Yes, you know what? Let's be the generation. I don't care how old you are. Let's be the generation of people who decided in 2023, we're stopping the clinging on to of all the things. Other generations did that for various reasons that seemed important to them. And so sometimes we inherit their fear of lack because of the Great Depression, of the fear of being poor because they were poor, and now they finally got stuff, so they had the money to buy the things that they didn't have back in the day. That was how they dealt with their stuff. How do you want to deal with your stuff? And yeah, sadly or realistically, sometimes your stuff includes some of their stuff, okay? So what I want to offer to user 43262878 blah, 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 is, and everybody, what do you want your house to look like? What items do you want in your house? And make your house light up your life like Debbie Boone. I'm not going to sing, don't worry. But if you know, you know, right? So that was your late grandmother's things. The other thing that I think is such a freeing thought, because it's all about the thoughts, people. This is why I am a certified life coach, and I got into clutter, because it's all about, if you think, what you think about your stuff makes you feel a certain way. And when you feel a certain way, you do a certain thing. And that's how your home looks the way it does. So here's not an acronym, what's that thing? An alliteration where all the letters are the same. Think of the 4-H club. I'll probably do a video on this because I just make this, I don't just make it up. I have great ideas and I want to share. Is 4-H club. Your head, your heart, your hands equals your home. Okay? What you think in your head makes you feel a certain way in your heart. When you feel a certain way in your heart, you do a certain thing with your hands, and then your home looks like it. Okay? And what I want to offer as a thought to think about that might help you do something to help you release some of that so much stuff of your grandmother's things is to think, just because I don't love her stuff does not mean that I do not love her. Let that sink in. Maybe that bears repeating, right? Just because you love the person doesn't mean you have to love their stuff. There, I flipped it. Just because you love the person doesn't mean you have to love their stuff. I loved my dad. I love my dad. My love for my father, who passed away, whatever, God, like 13 years ago, it lives in my heart. I have very few items of all the stuff that he used to collect, like big time. I have very few of those things in my house, but I have memories and good feelings about him in my heart where I love to keep them. He collected stuff I don't like. I collected stuff he doesn't like. I would like to think, and it helps me. When I think better, I feel better. When I feel better, I do better. So think a better thought, feel a better feeling, do a better thing, okay? There we go. How do I say goodbye to my grandmother's private thought journals? I don't know. I would burn them. I really would. I'm probably good. I have a bonfire planned. I write my journals for me to sort out my thoughts. And please, people, get yourself a notebook, write down, get your thoughts out of your head so you can figure them out. They're really not for anybody else. I might read them, and then, if they were my grandmother's, I might read them, but then I might burn them, or I might share them with the family if it seemed right, There we go. Oh, boy. Death of spouse. Yes, that sucks. I am so sorry, Lori, that happened. So you are in a process of grieving. You are in a transition phase. Don't make any harsh, rash decisions, but know that you are going to need to create your life post this crappy time. Okay? I hope that helps. Just know you're not alone. Okay? All right, here we go. We got a bunch of stuff here. Couple things, really, as I'm scrolling through looking for questions to answer, is I have a Destination Decluttered email mailing list. And I'm telling you that not to be like all salesy or whatever, but I have decided that that's where I'm going to share a lot of the really good stuff that I do first. So if you are interested in, like, I'm going to do some free Zoom things. I do a bunch of free Zoom things. I have a monthly Zoom that I do for free just for people on the email mailing list. I'm going to do a Zoom, what do you call it? Like a workshop about organizing your thoughts in your calendar. So you do have time, you make the time in your calendar to do your stuff. You also will find out about when I am doing coaching, consultations and things like that. So destinationdecluttered.com/join is where you join the mailing list. It's free. It's fun. I don't spam you. I hate spam, and I only like to sign up for things when I feel like I'm getting good content. So that's what I give. Okay. You only get what you give. God, I got songs going through my head all morning. destinationdecluttered.com/join. Immediately you're going to find, like, I kind of forgot this, that there's attached to the welcome email, there's a habit tracker you can start using right away. There's instructions even on how to use that. So already you're getting like a free thing to use. Okay. So I just say that because there's a lot of questions here and there's a lot of people here, and I want to make sure I get to as many questions as I have, but it's hard when there's so many people. When we have the Zooms that we do, or like when I do a Facebook Live or Instagram Live or a YouTube Live, smaller amount of people are there, I can help everybody else, but I will endeavor to answer as many questions as I can in the time I have. All right, there we go. Oh, Loganberry, struggling with your art room. I coached a client who did a rave review of how she was able to transform her art studio with my help. Just coaching on Zoom, even though we live fairly close to each other. It's on my website at destinationdecluttered.com/testimonials. If anybody wants to like hear what people have said about my coaching, that's where you can go. There might be something in what she said to help you. Okay. Let's see what we got. All right. We got, struggling for the art room. I love also Edie's World. Thank you, for helping your fellow clutter person. I love this when I'm not able to get everybody. There's like, it's so cool. I'm getting a little bit choked up. This is crazy. But there's like this instant community that tends to just automatically show up when I do these things, that people are helping people in the comments. And I just want to thank you for that, because I do my best as one person to help you. But when there's almost 200 people here, it's a bit tough, but it warms my heart to know that even if you're struggling with something, and just know that even if you're struggling with something, you can help with somebody else. So thank you. There we go. Decluttered and peaceful. There we go. All right, here we go. Let's see what goes some stuff. Yep, passed on the depression. All right, here we have, what do we got here? Yeah, Wendy just says, took me 45 years to realize it's just stuff. For a long time, it wasn't just stuff to me. I loved that stuff. I identified with my stuff. I was a collector. These are the things that gave me meaning, and this is how I spent my time. You know why? I'll just share from my own experience. I was scared of what my life and my future looked like because I didn't like what it was, and I was afraid to even dream of what it could be. I thought it had to be something sucky, and so I was avoiding it. And then I started taking baby steps towards the life I wanted, and I started getting that, and I started realizing how good it felt, and I did more and more and more. Oh my God, you guys. It's like I'm on the other side, and I'm like, come over here. It's fabulous. Join me. You know, that's why I'm here. I show up all the time doing these things because I want to help people with what I struggled with because I'm really good at this, and I know how good it feels to be decluttered, to also be saying to yourself, what do I want in my life? And not just with stuff, but with experiences, with opportunities, with people, with food. It's a process that you learn through decluttering your home, but then you copy and paste the methods and the strategies and the systems and all that. I make it really clear when I am coaching about here's the formula, here's the strategy, and don't just, you can use it for your home and you can use it for all sorts of other things. There we go. Michelle says, I stock up because I fear we won't have enough and then things go to waste. Tips. Notice that when you cling on to stuff, it is because of fear. You even said it. I am afraid that I am going to run out. But notice the actual fact of the matter is you haven't. Notice that our fear of lack keeps us accumulating things. But then what ends up happening is that we get an overabundance. It's like the balance is off. Okay. You know you have an overabundance because you had too many canned goods and they went bad. Learn from that and remind yourself of a better thought is, I don't need to stockpile so much stuff. I have an abundance in my life that it's going to be okay. All right. And even just adjust that. Maybe you keep instead of 5, cans of garbanzo beans, what else do they call chickpeas? I think some people call them. Maybe they're the same thing. Like you'd have 2 of them, and you notice also you hang out with your stuff and you notice the freshness dates and you say, oh my gosh, these are about to expire. I have 2 options. I either can make something with these things or I can donate it to a food pantry, a church, a shelter, someplace where somebody could desperately need that can that is an abundance to me. Okay. Yep. ADHD and clutter. Got it in my family, got it in my life, my people, it's a nice combo. Everybody's brain works differently. Okay. I love to help you create a system that works for you. And what I mean works for you is gets you the results you want, gets your house decluttered and maintained that way in the simplest, easiest way possible for you. So you do it, There we go. Incanito says, it is my sincere goal to purge and relieve the pressure on me. Yes, notice that feeling. Purge and relieve the pressure. To not be under pressure. How great will it feel? Here's a fun thing. Think of all the crappy words you just used to describe how crappy your home looks and feels. And then people who, it's so funny, people who could coach with me are going to know what I'm doing. I'm taking a piece of paper. I'm making a pretend, steno board. Write down all the crappy stuff right here. And then take the time and write the opposite of those words. If you don't want to be under pressure, what's the opposite of under pressure? If you don't want to feel weighed down, what's the opposite of that? If you don't want to feel stuck, what's the opposite of that? Start to define your definition by what you want it to be, not by what it's not. Okay? There we go. Clutter can be a trauma response for some people. Usually that is people who get into hoarding. Hoarding is definitely a trauma response. And I'll be frank, I do not coach people with legit hoarding because that's out of my scope. With love and for my fellow human being, I will direct them to get the help that they need, which is more of a professional psychological help. What I do is I help people who have just accumulated a bunch of stuff and they don't know why and they want to get rid of it and also figure out why they did it so they don't do it again and also create new habits and systems so you stay decluttered. Okay, there we go. Somebody says I was made fun of for not having clothes, so I hoarded, but I'm okay now. When you realize where it's coming from, that lack of maybe that from decades ago when you were the kid with the dorky clothes, or whatever, you can begin to close up that, kind of heal that. I don't heal. I don't know what I want to use about that, but you understand it, and you can understand where it came from, and you can realize that having the abundance of clothes isn't solving that. You just have to love that person who you were, you know? And oh, I got a bunch of people on my mailing list. Awesome. Thank you guys. DestinationDecluttered.com/mailing. No, /join. There's that. Yeah, Lori, as long as people start dying, I'll stay cleaned out. Yeah. Where do I start with my office, aka guest room, clothes dump? Okay, so overwhelmed. Okay, Jazz, here I'm going to offer, I'm going to help you and everybody. When I do these TikTok lives, when I do my coaching, the number 1 and 2, like the hits on these things is I'm overwhelmed and I don't know where to start. Let me help all of you, every single one of you. Anytime you feel overwhelmed, notice the word over. I would show you, some of you who have shown up before know that I have an inflatable globe. Think of the globe in front of you, right? It feels like when you're overwhelmed, you're just looking at it too big. You're looking at whatever it is too big. You're looking at your office and saying, oh my God, it's so overwhelming, right? You're looking at your house, too overwhelming. The opposite, notice I use that little piece of paper, the opposite of overwhelm that keeps you stuck is chunking it down. Chunk it down. Break down what you're doing into the smallest bits you can so you get started. It's all about getting started, right? Overwhelm keeps you stuck. Chunking it down gets you started. Overwhelm makes you feel, ugh, I don't do anything. Chunk down is like, I could do this a little bit. You say to yourself, little thought, little sentence in your head, I could do this a little bit. That gives you, I could do this. You feel better. Then you do better because you do that little bit and you repeat it over and over and over. Now, I know that is that is such a core thing, okay? Anytime you feel overwhelmed, you're just looking at it too big. Chunk it down, focus down on something you can do that's going to get you towards that direction and do it. Here's a couple ways really quickly to chunk it down. You can chunk it down, your whole house, into rooms. That room, you can chunk it down into categories of clutter. You even said there's clothing in your office. So maybe you deal with the clothing first, right? You do a category of what are all the clothes in here. And then you say, do I want these? Do I not want these? Do they fit? You make decisions about your things, right? And then the decision is basically, should I stay or should I go, as the Clash would say. It's like, if I want this, where does it go? And if I don't want it, how can I ease it? What's the easiest way for me to get it out of my home? All right. So chunk it down by category, chunk it down by surface clutter or stored clutter or sentimental clutter. Don't start with your sentimental clutter. That's the hardest stuff. You can also chunk it down by time, giving yourself, setting the timer on your phone. Your phone has, I'm pointing at my own phone. Your phone has a timer. Okay. And use it. Use all the tools available to you to get the results you want as efficiently as possible, okay? So set the timer for 20 minutes and go in there and do the things you know how to do to declutter. I bet there's some trash that needs to go in the trash or things to go in the recycle or things that are not where they should be. They are not put away in their homes, right? Do the things you know how to do. Set your timer for 20 minutes and it's just like a road trip. 20 minutes driving is going to get you further away from where you started and closer to your destination. Your destination, your destination decluttered. And then you repeat and you repeat and you repeat and it looks better, it looks better, it looks better. There's times it's going to look worse before it looks better. And I get into that, with my coaching. It will look temporarily worse before it looks permanently better. Write that one down. It's a keeper, okay? But just start. Just start and be like, this is going to get me to where my home looks, the way I want my home to look and feel. All right. Ooh, 29 new messages. Let me see what I can do. I love it. I've given away 5 carloads of stuff this week. So freeing. Notice that word. If that word were on this steno pad, I got a steno pad here. Let me see if I can find it. Is that it? Nope, that's my map. I got my map. It's looking at it too big. You got to chunk it down. My God, I got all these goofy things here. Anyhow, freeing. Don't you want to feel free to do what you want any old time? Stuck on one side, lousy thoughts on one side, better thoughts on the other. The opposite. Free. It feels so free. It is so freeing. Oh my God, I'm free of the weight. I am free of the responsibility. I'm free of the freaking decision making, the inaction. Oh my gosh, how great it feels on the other side, okay? You go, yeah. So to Lisa, he says, I'm so glad you said it looks worse. I've decluttered so much, but it looks worse now. That is because you're not done yet. You are probably in the process of sorting through things. When I coach people, I talk about the 3 levels of clutter: surface, stored, and sentimental. Stored clutter needs to be spread out so you can categorize it and sort through stuff before you put it away. You are probably still in the categorizing and not putting away thing. And sometimes, I will share this too, sometimes what happens is people forget to chunk down the stored clutter and they say, I need to take all of it out and spread all of it out. And that can be, it'll just make it worse sometimes. So start small. If you're decluttering something, and here's the thing to remember about stored clutter, it's stuff that is behind a door or in a drawer typically, right? So think of decluttering your clothing bureau. We call them bureaus where I was growing up. Now people call them dressers. It's easier to spell actually, dresser versus bureau. One drawer at a time. Go through and say, do I wear all these clothes? If the answer is no, either throw them away, and I'm only thinking of throwing away like with your underpants and stuff, because who wants to donate those? But donate the clothes you're not wearing to a place where somebody could get them. Go chunk it down so it doesn't get overwhelmed, okay? I didn't start with COVID, but working from home, it spiraled. Yeah, you know what? We all are going through. Notice how external things impact what we do things in our home. I mean, I'm working from home right now, and a lot of this happened with me in COVID. We all had certain pre-COVID habits, COVID habits, and now we are in basically our post-COVID world that we're trying to undo, trying to continue some of the good habits that happened in COVID, but also undo some of the not so good ones. There we go. All right. I look at keeping just my favorite things from each category. It doesn't matter if it's new. Yeah. Yeah, okay, you know what? CM327, it drives me nuts, but when it looks worse before it looks better, don't allow it to drive you nuts. Just say, hey, this is part of the process. I am in this part of the process now. That's the part that drives me crazy. Well, you know what you do is then you sort your things out, you pull out the stuff you want, and you put that stuff away. You know, I mean, here's an example of this is just part of the process and you just need to get through it. So don't put any drama around it. Like when you even say the words, it drives me crazy, ooh, ooh, or this makes me so angry, or I hate doing laundry. All of those drama, energy, like all those words to me are just giving energy where the thing doesn't even deserve your energy. Conserve your energy for the good stuff, you know, and don't allow it to drive you crazy. Say, oh, I'm at this point in this journey. Noted. I know how to get out of here really quickly, you know? There we go. Jerry Ann Wanders is saying, you love your glasses. Thank you. I am getting new glasses soon, so I want to do a TikTok for my glasses people because they're so nice. I may not get everyday glasses that look like this because they don't make them anymore, but anyhow, I digress. Who's that guy? Greg? I digress. I Bethgress. Whatever. I'm cracking myself up. All right. How can I help? There we go. I love how, I love how everybody is chipping in and helping everybody else. You know, that's how I am. I don't have it all figured out, but man, the stuff I have figured out has just improved the quality of my life by 1,000,000,000%. Okay. So here's the thing. Judy is asking, what about legit hobbies? The stuff you need for them. Keep it. If you're doing the hobbies, okay? Keep the stuff. Find a place where you can store them, that you can easily access the stuff, use it for your hobby, and then easily put it away. The clutter isn't the stuff you love. Somebody said that. I picked my favorites. The clutter isn't the stuff you love. What was that thing I did yesterday? The bus. The clutter is not the stuff you believe to be beautiful, that brings your eyes joy and your heart joy. The clutter isn't the stuff that is useful. Your can opener, your spatulas, your clothing that keeps your naked body from being naked, right? It's not the sentimental stuff. That's not some of the sentimental stuff can be, but work with me here. The clutter is the stuff that doesn't work for you. The clutter is the stuff you don't use. It's for the crafts that you look at and be like, oh, I should probably do that craft. Like, who wants to do a craft? Like, if that's what you're thinking, oh, I bought all the stuff, I should probably do the craft, but I don't want to do the craft. That's me. I thought I was going to be crafty. I am not crafty, but this is what I do instead. And oh my God, it's so much more fun. Okay, so just say the clutter is the stuff that isn't working for you, and get rid of the stuff that isn't working for you. And when I say get rid, I mean put it back out into the world, into circulation, where it can catch up with somebody. It can meet up with somebody who wants to do that craft and just doesn't have the abundance that you have to be able to do it. Right? All right. So somebody's asking, MN Summer 1, can you talk about paper clutter? Boy, can I talk about paper clutter. So here's an interesting thing. Somebody mentioned above the whole notion of, and I did too, just that how important it was to think about like the pre-COVID world, the COVID world, and the post-COVID world. We are in a similar thing. And this is why maybe my training as an art history major back in the day makes me think things from historic perspectives, because think about our paper. We used to be in a paper-only society. Pre-internet, pre-computers, it was paper, paper, paper. And if you didn't have that copy of that thing, you were in trouble because it was typically one copy. Now we are changing towards a paperless society. We'll see if we get there. But right now we are in a hybrid society. Okay. Some of the stuff you have is on paper and some of the stuff you have is online, and everybody's percentages are probably different, right? I just say this to set you up to think. Notice the paper stuff you are keeping. Just notice it. Be curious about it. Curiosity is going to be one of those feelings, like curiosity, I'm telling you, is on the other side right here. You know, if you're like, nope, it doesn't work, you shut it down. Curiosity opens things up. Just get curious about what you're saving and ask yourself, notice when it is a paper copy of something that already exists digitally somewhere else, right? Like I am Gen X, so I've got a foot in each door, you know, in each world. And I actually still like to get my credit card statements paper-wise. I have willingly done that because I enjoy getting the paper, opening it up, and just looking at the line items. I know I can look at that online, but I don't. What I've done is I have a system that works for me. But I know that if I'm missing a statement, I can log on online and look at it or print one out. So just get curious about the stuff you are keeping and why are you keeping it? And not like, why are you keeping that? It's like, just get curious. Why am I keeping this? Do I need to keep this? If this burned in a fire, could I get a copy of it if I needed a copy? Okay, so just get curious about what you're saving and why you're saving it. And then just ask yourself, okay, today in my life, the way my life is going, maybe I just need to upgrade my habits. I'm in the habit of keeping these things, but do I really need to? And then you can adjust your habits to say, I don't need these things anymore. I'm going to bring them to a shredding event, or I do want to keep these, so I'm going to put them in a place where I know I can get them. You know, hope that helps with that. The way I see it, really good. You might hate doing laundry, but you love and are happy when it's done. Yeah, sometimes that's why I do the destination. It's like, you don't have to love the decluttering. You don't have to be like, I just love it. I think it can be fun. I think it's a treasure hunt. I love seeing the before and afters. I love seeing the difference. I love connecting with my stuff and deciding if I want it or not. Because every time you make a decision about what you want in your life, you're reconfirming what's important to you, right? But you don't have to be in love with all of it. But you know what you can be doing? Like, it'll be so great when this is all done and I don't have to do it. And sadly, or just realistically, just so you know, decluttering is not a one and done thing. It's a little bit every day for the rest of your life type of thing. But that doesn't have to be overwhelming. That can be freeing, because when you do a little bit each day, it doesn't pile up like it might have had. There we go. Where do we have? I have years of bills, tax prep statements sitting in my closet. Okay, Charleston Lifestyle. I do know that the IRS only requires you to save any of your tax stuff for 7 years. See if you have anything that is 7 years or older. Okay. I do. I mean, I don't. I just keep 7 years, and then when I go to file my taxes for this year, I will pull the other things out and I will shred it. You know, and just think, the only reason you're keeping that stuff is on the off chance that the IRS is going to whatever, audit you. Okay. So don't worry about it. Just get anything 7 years from now. This is a 3 and there's a 4. So that's a 6. So 2016, look at your stuff. Is there anything earlier than 2016? You know, there we go. Tell me about your closet. Tell me about your closet. Let me look at the time. Okay, 9:34. Just keeping an eye on the time. For those of you who are just joined, this is kind of where, when I used to be in college radio, we would talk about like doing station ID. So I want to give a bottom of the hour station ID. My name is Beth. I am a decluttering life coach and Destination Decluttered. It's up like on all my stuff. Destination Decluttered is what I call my coaching because I love to travel. I've written books about literal road trips. And when I started treating my life like a road trip, I got my home and my life looking the way I wanted it to. And I want to help you with that too. I make it fun. I make it easy. And probably the best thing to do besides liking my TikTok page and showing up for these lives is to sign up for the Destination Decluttered email mailing list. Like, so for example, perfect example of how the people on my email mailing list get the best stuff. They already know when I'm going to be doing a TikTok live next week and really for the rest of July. So I sent an email out to them. So destinationdecluttered.com or .com, as my Boston accent might sometimes say, .com /join. It's free. It's easy. It's good stuff. If you want help and support with your clutter, if you want help with your clutter, Johnny, I'm here to help you. Okay, there we go. Have a great day, Judy. Have a fabulous haircut. What do we else we got here? There's something. Yeah, there you go. Edie's World. Yeah, I have mine in a plastic bin. Me too, in case it gets like, what do you get that? When floody, and every few years I go through and shred it, So closets, and how do you decide what clothes to keep when you gain and lose? Love it. Because this is another one. And I love doing these lives because it causes my brain, it gives my brain an excuse to be nimble and quick. And think about how I said before, post-COVID world, today, new COVID world, post-COVID world, COVID world today and future, right? Those different things. Your clothing is kind of the same thing. You have clothing right now that you fit in today. You have clothing that you wear today. Lord, I hope you do, or else you'd be naked all the time, right? So you have clothes that you wear that's in circulation all the time. They go from your body to the hamper, from the hamper to the washer, from the washer to the dryer. Then you put it away where it belongs, ideally, and notice that's a cycle. Though notice that's a cycle, okay? The clutter is the clothes you don't wear. And this is where you say to yourself, this is the stuff that's not in circulation. It's in the periphery, right? It's the clothing that you push away to grab the clothes you do on the hanger. You dig for the clothes you do want when the stuff that you don't wear is in the way. Notice how it's in the way. Just ask yourself, why am I not wearing this clothes? And listen for your answer, okay? If your answer is, because you mentioned this just watching now one of when you're gaining and losing, I have clothes, you have clothes in your collection of clothing that is under the category of, instead of this is clothing I currently fit into and wear, clothing I currently do not fit into. Ergo, I cannot wear it, right? Clothing I don't fit into for you is a category. Now, it could be a bunch of different sizes. It could be big, it could be small, it could be medium, but it's under the umbrella of these are the clothes that I'm too big for. These are the clothes that are too big for me, right? Give yourself an opportunity if you choose to, if you want to, if you're saving those clothes. Again, that fear-based thing. Notice the fear that's keeping you clinging on to those clothes. Fear, I like to call fear the backseat drivers. And they're saying, don't donate those clothes because you might be that size again. And if you're that size again, you want to have clothes to wear, right? That fear of I'm going to change the size of my body and not have something that fits me. Notice it's a fear. Fear keeps you clinging. Love lets you release. Love yourself. And I say this by saying, love yourself by doing one of two things. Allow yourself the opportunity to become the person you want to be if the person you want to be is the smaller or a different sized version of yourself. Say, I'm going to save these clothes until I'm that size, but I'm going to pack them away in a tote with a label with the date that says the size they're on so they don't get in the way of the clothes I'm currently wearing. But I'm also going to do the little things every day that get me to that size that I want to be. Allow yourself that opportunity, okay? However, if you decide not to do that, if you decide you've tried it and it's not working, again, love yourself enough to say, I'm not going to fit into those clothes again, and that's okay. Because who I am right now and the size I am and the clothes I wear, I am awesome. I don't need to fit into those clothes. And should I ever change the size of my body again, I can go buy something new. But right now, I am okay with who I am and what I'm wearing because it's what I wear every day. And maybe you then up the vibe of the clothes that do fit your body, and maybe you just key those up and, kind of say, I deserve only the best. Okay. Give yourself the opportunity to be the person you want, but also realize that if you're not doing the things, maybe you just don't want to do that. And it's up to you. Okay. But I will say, for practicality, is remove the items that are not working and even just stage them out of circulation so that the functionality of your home and your getting dressed works better. In a way, think about this too. In a way, when you're not wearing those clothes, you're already made a low-level decision of that you're not wearing them, that those don't matter as much as your other ones, okay? Hope that helps. All right, what else do we have here for the next 20 minutes? There we go. Yeah, then Jane H says, and it's true, when you get to that size again, especially lower, you will want to reward yourself with new clothes. And as you should. And also, styles change, tastes change, different things. You don't want to be outmoded, or maybe you do. I love vintage clothing, but just think about that, okay? But you love the fabrics regardless. Okay, if you love it because of the fabric, here's the deal. You are going to always be having a conversation in your head. And the goal of your conversation should always be, to me, I want my home to look and feel, I want my life to look and feel better than it does now. If you don't want to release this stuff, if you're not ready, then don't do it. But notice that you are making a decision to hold on to those things, and just notice what your decisions are and your reasons are, and hopefully be cool with it. I can't convince you. I don't convince. It's like when I'm on a coaching consultation, which I've got one coming up. If you do want to do one-on-one coaching with me, I'll just mention it really quickly. This is not like infomercially or whatever. There is a couple of buttons on my website and I'm just looking at it right now to see if I have any consultation slots available between now. Okay, I do have some for next week. And after that, mystery. It's going to be a mystery. Sign up for a consultation. I do one-on-one coaching with people on Zoom. And now I forget why I was even saying that. Oh yeah, convincing. My one-on-one coaching costs money. I think it's a steal for the amount of stuff that you learn, for the amount of change that happens in your life and in your home, and the fact that what I teach you is copy and pastable into so many different areas of your life, but it costs money. But I do not convince you. I cannot convince you to do coaching with me. It has to come from you. So if you want to change the amount of clothing in your closet, you have to want to do that and basically tell yourself a better story to make yourself stop clinging onto it and start to release it, So just wanted to mention that. Okay, there we go. Lost a bunch of clothes and my old clothes were out of style. As a clothes hoarder, need to hear all this. Notice how many of us have these things, right? I bet you anything. If I open up, I'm pretty sure, you know what? I think I put it down the basement. There's like a dress. There's a couple of dresses that I'm like, I might fit into those. But I have whittled down my clothes into such the basics. It just makes my life so much easier. That's why I like to do it, and my post-COVID wardrobe and body are different than my pre-COVID body. I don't want to be uncomfortable anymore in corporate clothing that I was never comfortable in to begin with. So I've made the conscious decision to donate those to people who are still in a place where they can match up with people who are in the corporate world, There we go. All right. Suggestions for old paint cans. Don't need to store half full gallons. Here's a thought. Okay, couple things. First of all, Google is going to be your friend with a lot of kind of these specifics because it depends on where you live. So a few things. I know that near us, and crazily enough, right across the street practically from where I live, a few blocks away, is a Habitat for Humanity. You may have something like that where you live, where it's basically you can donate still good like house, like project stuff like paint and doors and furniture and different things like that. So there might be a place for you to be able to donate it if they're the gallons that are half full. The other thing too is if there isn't a place like that, maybe there are some people who need some paint to do a creative project. Put it out there to say, anybody want these paint cans for free, right? The other thing too is if none of this happens and you can't connect it up with somebody who's going to use it for the paint, just be responsible and know that there are probably guidelines wherever you live about the proper disposal of these things. And depending upon what kind of paint they are, they may say to take the lid off and let it dry. They also may say that it only can be picked up during like a thing that if it's like oil-based paint, that would be bad. Like just do the right thing. Don't just pitch it, right? But just notice that you don't want it and offer it up to the world. Who knows? Somebody might want it. They might be they might be painting sets for like a local, hey kids, let's put on a show and they need some paint for free. You never know what people need until you offer it up, you know? Try that. How to store shoes and handbags that, oh wait, I just missed it. Are leather, any tips? Okay, GGX2000. I bet there are better tips out there on the internet. I bet there are. I don't have a lot of shoes that are leather, and I don't have a lot of bags that are leather. I'm pretty casual about that type of stuff. I would say, just in theory, you don't want to hang things where they put stress on a part of it, like when you hang your like, what do you call them, your sweaters, and they get all pilly. I don't have, I'll be honest, I don't have a good thing. I would say, the one thing I would say from my perspective is get creative and use the space and the stuff you have. You know, nothing like I try to minimize the amount of stuff that I have to go buy to be decluttered. That's why, like, I store stuff in all these little train cases that I have, and I have other things that I store stuff in so that I don't go out and buy stuff, you know. Spoodle Cam is asking, any practical advice for determining when to sell online versus donating used clothing? Yes, 100%. This also falls under the umbrella of that unhelpful thought that keeps you stuck and clinging onto stuff of it may be worth something someday. I paid good money for this. Someday, oh God, I saw this. Someday is not on your calendar. Someday is never going to come because it's always someday. Make today be. Make this weekend. Today's Friday, right? Find out what your stuff is worth to other people monetarily. Go on to, so Spoodle Cam, the stuff you think you want to sell online, go see what people are paying for it. Know what you're getting yourself into. And then say to yourself, be strategic about these things. Say, if this is the amount of money I'm going to get, possibly get for this thing, is the work I'm going to have to do to sell it online worth it to me to do that work? Now, I will share. At certain eras of my life, I was like, hell yeah, this is fun. I would go thrifting. I would find things. I would sell them for a profit on eBay and vintage stuff and all that type of stuff. I did that for a long time. And then I realized I didn't want to do it anymore. Like, it was not worth it. All the little steps I had to go through and all the fees I had to pay and the backs and forths, like, it took a lot of time and effort that by the time I got the money, I was like, this wasn't even worth it. Like, but you're going to have to find out you. Now, if it's worth it to you, then sell it online and create a system. And some people make some bucks and they enjoy doing it. Other people like me, I'm like, I would rather put it in a bag for a donation place and get a receipt, and I might be able to, take it off my taxes, because that's so much simpler for me. I put it in a bag. When the bag is full, I go dump it somewhere. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I want to spend. This is a decision I am making about what's important to me. I want to spend my time and effort on other things. But you do you. But start with, how much could I even get for it today? Not like, oh, this may be worth something in the future, because sometimes you hold on to things for too long and you should have sold them earlier and then they plummet. Okay, there we go. I love it. Janet is saying, using your method to declutter my walk-in closet. Glad to hear it. Okay, what do we got? You're welcome for the useful tips. Can you put this live on YouTube? GGX2000. I will. And thank you for reminding me to do that. I will. So, and this is really cool, because this was something that never even occurred to me. So this is how I show up to help you. But then you're helping me, because you gave me a thought that didn't occur, which was, I was like, why would anybody want to watch a recording of a TikTok live? Wouldn't they want to be there live? Wouldn't they feel bad if they missed the live? No. Folks, weekly, daily, tell me that they love to listen to the lives when they're live while they're decluttering. If you did that now, if you put your phone down, we've got 12 minutes left, you could declutter for 12 minutes. Your home would look and feel better than it did when we started, right? But then recording them and putting them on YouTube helps the people who missed the live. They like to put it on like put it on like a podcast in the background to give you that kind of pep in your step, to be like, I can do this. This is going to be great. What do I want this to look like? I want it to look better. Do. You've got a friendly voice. The ADHD people call it body doubling. You're not alone when you're doing this, right? None of us. Look there's still almost 200 people here. And this is just me, one random hour of one random day. So many people in the world struggle with clutter and stuff. And I say the world, but I really mean, honestly, those of us in the US are blessed with abundance. There are people who live in other countries that don't have as much as we do. And we think having more equals better, but we realize after a certain point it doesn't. It's like when you overeat and it just makes you feel oogie, as I like to say. Blurg. I feel heavy and bloated and I don't feel good. Ugh. You know, you want to feel just right. And your feeling of just right is unique to you. Okay. So yes, I will put this one on YouTube Live. I'm actually going to write that down. This is how you do it, people. This is how you do it. Take your thoughts, write them down so you don't forget them. Okay. YouTube upload before I leave today because I'm going away for the weekend. Woo! All right, that's what I do when when used to clean my laundry room. There we go. See? Yeah, and oh, here's a beautiful thing too. So GGX2000, what a fun name, is when she said when I was away, she was listening, or they, I don't know if you're a she, I apologize. They were listening to my TikTok lives that were on the YouTube channel when I was not doing TikTok lives. And I will share this. The people on the Destination Decluttered email list already know this, but I'm telling you now so you can prep for it, is that I will be off the digital grid. That's what I call it. I am going to be off the digital grid for almost 10 days in a little over a week. I will not be showing up and doing TikTok lives. I will not be posting videos. I won't be answering emails, all that stuff, because what is important to me and how I want my life to be is when I show up, I want to enjoy it and I'm here 100%. But when I am off the grid, I am also then enjoying my life 100%. I have found for me that notion of multitasking just mucks up both waters. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be free and clear so that I restore myself. So when I come back, I am full, right? So I say that because, yeah, there's going to be a window of time later in the month where I won't be showing up. So the folks on the Destination Decluttered mailing list, if you want to join it, destinationdecluttered.com/join, already know when that's going to happen. I will send that out to new people as well. But I say that too to prepare yourself for it. I won't leave you. I do not abandon my people, okay? And what I do is I just will refer you to the videos that I've made that are on TikTok, the lives that I have done, that are going to be on the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel. And also, you know a lot of what to do. It's just a matter of getting started. And the best way to kind of ignite the spark, notice that it's every day you're getting out into the driveway of life and you're turning on the ignition to start your engine to drive towards your dreams. And think about that. Every morning, it doesn't seem weird to you to start your car by igniting a spark, right? You turn your key, it ignites a spark. I hope they still do. I don't know, electric cars or whatever. But you have to do that on a daily basis to get your car moving. Why would your life be any different? You should be reminding yourself on a daily basis in the morning, where am I driving to? What are the things I'm doing today? And do they steer me in the direction of the life I want? Or are the things I'm doing making me steer away from the life that I want? There we go. Okay. Do you have a video on something that's past things? I have my dad's SmartPad and can't use it. I do in that kind of releasing thing. There's a bunch of them called parental clutter that are on my TikTok page. You can find them. I tried to make them obvious by making a red box when I did them. But one thing I would just say with knowing the best place to donate it is do a Google search around you. There may be somebody who'll be able to wipe it clean, that you might sell it or donate it or anything like that. Some of those specifics are going to be unique to where you live and what you can do with that. Okay. But there we go. Okay. So Plurally Blissful Mama, PBM is saying, what is the difference between clutter and hoarding? I mentioned it earlier and just curious. Be happy to mention it. So somebody mentioned earlier about clutter having a relationship with trauma. Not so great things, right? Taken to the extreme is when that becomes hoarding. Hoarding is a legitimate diagnosis, mental diagnosis in the DSM-5. People who have hoarding disorders, it's not just about their stuff, it's about what's the stuff behind the stuff, okay? The thoughts about the stuff that run deep, that make them feel this way, that make them cling on to things to the extreme, to the danger of their health and well-being. And they can't do anything about it without help. I know people like that. And I know my place in the world. And what I do with love is say those people need more help than I can give them. They need mental health help to solve what's up here so that it changes what's out here. So if you think somebody really has that hoarding disorder, that, things are dangerous and piling up and all the bad stuff, with love in your heart, suggest that they get some help. Maybe it's you. I don't know. But do the best thing. Everybody here, please, if you're struggling with something, get help. And get help that's going to work for you. I am for a certain kind of person. The people who like my wacky jokes and the way I present myself and the way I am kind of casual about this, the level of help I'm able to give you. I have helped tons of people. But I may not be for everybody, and that's okay. Because there's other people out there. There's going to be the help you need is out there. Start to look for it and you will find it. Okay? There we go. All right. See, notice. So Jenny Lynn said she just found me, and I'm literally on. Jenny, I'm just letting you know I'm only going to be on for like 5 more minutes. Then I'm going to hop off. And then I will post about when I'm doing TikTok lives next week. I'll do a video, and I always pin it to the top of my TikTok page. You might also want to join the Destination Decluttered email mailing list. But I mean, you just met me, so you might not want to, but you do you, okay? And notice how folks who have maybe been on for the hour, how overwhelm and just getting started, number 1 and 2, I can answer those things all day. I'll give you the Cliff Notes version, Jenny Lynn. If you're overwhelmed, you're looking at the project too big, you're looking at the entire project, chunk it down, write it down, chunk it down. It's like trying to eat a whole watermelon in one fell swoop. No, you're gonna cut it down into bite-sized pieces so that you can get started doing it. Okay? Also notice that just getting started, maybe you're not igniting that spark of turning the key in your heart and being like, why am I even doing this? So before you even do it, everybody, 4 minutes from now when I shut off this thing, why don't you shut off your phone too? And then say, what do I want my home to look like? What am I aiming for? What am I driving towards? What do I want my home to look and feel like? What do I want to feel like when I'm in my home? And then write it down, Charlie Brown. Write it down. Get it out of your head. I have another pinned post about getting the spaghetti thoughts out of your head. Dump them into a colander. Dump them out somewhere so you can look at them. Because your thoughts are the things that are either getting you closer to where you want to be or keeping you stuck. And unless you figure out what's in your head that's making you feel something in your heart that's keeping you stuck, you're going to just kind of spin your wheels. Okay, there we go. Thank you for signing up for the emails. But just getting started, maybe it's because you don't know where you're going. Imagine that. A road trip, okay? A road trip implies 2 things. That you have a destination. I'm driving to Palm Springs. I'm driving to Disney. I'm going from Chicago to LA on Route 66. It implies a beginning and a destination. A destination that you're excited to get to. That there's a spark that has turned a key that's got the ignition revving in your and like, I want to go to there, as my heroine, Tina Fey and her child would say. I want to go to there, right? Get that, figure out what is doing it for your heart and your life. What do you want to look and feel like? That will help you get going. If you're not psyched about where you're going, that's a commute. Ugh. Who wants to show up and do that? You're feeling miserable. But the greatest thing, I want to leave you with this too, is think about when you're in your driveway, right? You're in your driveway, sitting in your car. Picture 2 scenarios. One of them is, I'm in my car and I just got told that I can go to, I'm driving to the beach. I love the beach, so I'm driving to the beach, right? I'm in my driveway, I'm driving to the beach. I'm not even there yet. I'm still in my driveway, but I have that beach feeling. I'm like, this is going to be so great. It's going to be fun. I love the beach. It's going to smell so good. That sand and the water and the lotion and the snacks, whatever it is. I'm still in my driveway. But that beach feeling is going to help me. It's going to make the journey enjoyable. Yeah, it's going to take me 2.5 hours to get there. Yeah, I'm going to probably be stuck in traffic. I'm going to have to pay some tolls. I'm going to have to stop and pee. But you know what? Doesn't matter, because you know where I'm going. I'm going to the beach. You're in your driveway. Same thing. You're in front of your car. I have to go have a root canal in the city. Ugh. There's going to be traffic. Probably going to have to stop and pee. I'm not excited about this. It's probably going to hurt. Notice, you're not even there yet, and you're feeling miserable the whole time, right? That's why I love the road trip metaphor. So I leave you with this. Define your destination that reflects who you are now and who you want to be. Write this stuff down and then say to yourself, chunk it down to get started, to say, what's one thing I can do today that's going to help me get to that place? You know, maybe some of you, it's because you signed up for the Destination Decluttered email mailing list and you're like, oh, I need more encouragement along the way as I do this because I don't know how to do it. I was never trained how to declutter. I don't know how to do this. I need to learn the systems that this lady is teaching. My name is Beth, by the way, Destination Decluttered. DestinationDecluttered.com too, if you want to join the mailing list, yada, yada. I'm always talking about it because I think it's wicked cool. But yeah, just know that there's help out there. I make it fun. It should be fun because when it's fun and doable, you're going to show up more often. And the more you show up and drive forward, you're just going to get to where your home looks the way you want it to. You feel the way you want to. It functions the way you want to. And you have time and space to do the things you want to do. All right. Now we just hit the 10 o'clock mark. I think that's a kind of a mic drop moment. Again, my training in college radio helps me with that one. But this was a joy, everybody. Nice to meet so many of you. I'm sorry I did not get to all of your questions. What I will say is that when you got your welcome email for the Destination Decluttered email list, you will have also seen there is a Destination Decluttered group Zoom call, which, holy Moses, I just realized is next Thursday night. Okay, so if you want to be invited to this group Zoom call where there are substantially fewer people, but we have a nice kind of interplay, it's a wonderful community. It's a free thing that I do just for the people on the mailing list. You'll get the Zoom invite by joining the mailing list, destinationdecluttered.com/join, all that type of stuff, okay? Have a great weekend, all right? Do some things this weekend that remind you of where you want to go to and get you closer to there, okay? I'm signing off and going to do some stuff to do the same for myself. You rock. You deserve to have the life you love. And I'll see you next week. Okay? Bye.